Hey guys, it's David here, and it's currently day 23. Hopefully, you guys have smashed the week. Hopefully, you guys just getting ready for the next week. Yeah, I mean, we still have one more day, but just plan yourself now, right? So today, I didn't do my cocos because I thought to myself, look, I need to reevaluate my planning life. I need to reevaluate my purpose. I need to define what the heck that even means, right? Because I get asked a lot of times, and I even ask this myself when people ask me, for example. Look, David, you say you want to be successful. You say you want to be a businessman. What do you mean? Or how do you mean that? And a lot of the times I look at them or I look into space, thinking, yeah, you're right. How am I supposed to define this? I say I want to be successful. I say I want to be a superior man, but what does that actually mean? What values and what principles does that mean or hold? And at times I just can't answer them that question. I'll just say, look, I don't really know. Or I gave them a very vague answer like, look, I'm doing this SMA business. It's going to get me rich. That's not defining it. That's just that's just telling them what you're doing. All right. So, and at times people say, well, look, you're delusional, you're stupid, or you're absolutely out of your mind, which totally makes sense, right? I can't even define what I believe in. So, thinking about this and this really, reflecting this fact, I said to myself, look, perhaps it's a good starting point to actually define what I want in life, to actually understand my purpose, to actually understand why I'm doing what I'm doing. Of course, I say to myself every day, look, I'm doing this to, retire my parents. I'm doing this for myself. I'm doing this, for that and that, right? Subconsciously and to myself and with my own mouth, I can explain to myself why I'm doing this. But a lot of the times, I have no concrete answer to my definition of my purpose. And a lot of the times we say things, right, and we just forget. It's just like an idea. We say it, and then when something comes into mind again, that replaces what we thought before. So a lot of the times we forget what we say, right? But when you write it down, right, when you write down a goal, when you write down a plan on how to execute, that shit never changes, right? When it's on paper, right? So you might be thinking all these other things. You might be emotional the next day. You might, feel anxiety, or you might have a breakup, whatever, right? You're not clear in your mind. But when you have that written down, right, that's that. That's probably your most clearest moment when you wrote that shit down on paper. And that's going to define who you are, guys. That is going to define who you are for however long it's going to take until you reach that point and you set more goals and you set another strategy to achieve things. So without having a mission statement, I decided to write one today. You know, using the template in the seven most effective habit used by successful people. I think that's the title of the name. If it's not, then I'm sorry because I read the book 1 week ago, so it's absolutely embarrassing. I forgot. But anyways, I used the template. I wrote down the mission statement, and then after that, I wrote down my plan of attack for the strategy, or my plan of attack to reach my purpose. Right? Because at the moment, I'm having these periods where I have 4 days of just powerhouses. I power through the 4 days. I do my cold calls, I do my research, I do all that. Right? I basically fill my day with work. And then comes 4 days, right? Comes the day till the weekend kicks in. And then for some reason, these 4 days, I just become complacent. I don't do as much, or sometimes I do nothing. And it's very, very conspicuously represented on my data, right? I have 4 days chunks, 4 days off, 4 days chunks, 4 days off. And the first 4 days I had off, that's my complacency period, which I did a video on. Didn't feel great. And coming back 4 days again, I thought, okay, I'm the shit now. I got past this level. I got past this failure. I can actually go through doing the whole week's work, right? But then again, when Friday came, 4 days break. And I just found myself, why am I doing this again? I could say to myself, well, look, the past 4 days, one day was a public holiday. No one worked on Monday, so that's why I didn't cocoa. But I could have done work. That's the thing, I didn't. So I couldn't really figure out why I'm having these chunks, 4 days off, 4 days on. And I did my self reflection and I couldn't come to any conclusion, right? I could not come to a consolidated conclusion. One that kind of made sense to me was I was scared of failure. So maybe that's why I've got discouraged. And to some degree, that's true. But when I actually read that shit out loud to myself, I was internally laughing. I was like, okay, if that's the case, then why am I, doing this in the first place? Obviously, I'm continuing doing it because I enjoy failure and I actually learn something from failure. Failure is the opportunity. It gives us the opportunity to improve. So I had all my, possible reasons why I didn't work the 4 days. I had all of them laid out, and none of them make sense. So I was thinking to myself, okay, maybe I should reevaluate my plan or my strategy, right? Because I wrote I wrote my plan or how I'm gonna attack this business and my life in prison, and I have the book right here, right? So I wrote down my plans, right? And here's the thing: in prison, I had no skills for SMMA. I had no experience, so basically, I was just the numbers I was just running. It's just all based on imaginations, right? So for my goal, I had 10K a month, 10K a month for my SMMA business. And well, I say 10K a month because that is like the pitch everyone uses for the SMMA. Like, oh yeah, 10K a month, this is how much you're gonna make, or whatever, right? So I said, okay, let me just put 10K a month. That's my goal for the year, right? And then in my book, I wrote like, look, all right, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna cold call this much, and out of these cold calls, I'm gonna get this much meeting, and out of this much meeting, this is how much I'm gonna sell. The issue with that is I had no proof of evidence that if I call 50 people, I'm going to get 2 meetings. I never knew that. I was just like a random number I made up, right? But obviously now I have this proof, right? I have, okay, if I call 100 people, I'm going to get 1 meeting, right? Out of the meetings, 50% will no show, and 50% will show up, right? And then after discovery call, none has shown up for demo call yet. So I have no data on demo call, but at least now I have the reason or how many people will show up for the discovery call and how many people I have to call to get a 1 meeting, right? So breaking that down now, okay, so what can I do? So instead of talking about getting, okay, 10K a month, how can I get one client, right? How can I get that? How can I get more meetings? How could I, get one discovery call? Okay, so let's break that down, right? So let's say to get one client. What are the factors to, improve that statistic? More meetings or more calls? I could do more calls to get more meetings, or I could find out why am I only getting 1 meeting per 100 call. Okay, let's break that down. And this is gonna be like the daily or weekly things you gotta improve on, right? So first, tonality. Maybe I'm not sounding authentic. Maybe I'm not sounding confident, so people are not trusting me. Okay, tonality is something I could improve on. Second, maybe because I'm not setting the agenda correctly for what's gonna happen in the discovery call. Okay, so maybe next time I need to explain myself better. Maybe I shouldn't hide my service too much. Maybe I should give them what they want to hear when they ask for it. Third, I am not handling objections. I am hanging up when objection happens. When objection happens, to my experience, is because the prospect is uncertain of the service you offer or uncertain of you or your business, right? So that objection is the chance for you to prove yourself or prove what you have to the prospect to move forward. Someone objects because someone's interested, right? So if you're not handling that objective, if I'm not handling that objective, I'm basically throwing out a new meeting or another meeting, right? So learn how to handle objections and handle them well with the right tonality. That's something that's going to improve my meeting rate, and that's going to improve how much meeting I'm going to get. So that are the things I could improve on to increase my meetings, and then to increase my meetings, I could increase how much shows up in discovery call, and then that will show how much is going to show in the demo call, right? And eventually, that's going to contribute to getting the first client. And when that happens, I could improve on, okay, so let's deliver the service, right? But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's just focus on, the first three, right? More calls, handle objections, set the agenda, tonality, and just goddamn follow up, because I don't follow up. That's why they're not showing up to the meeting. All right. So that's the thing I could do to get my first client, to get more meetings, right? That's the daily thing I need to do to contribute to the bigger picture, right? And the bigger picture is obviously 10K a month. Now, here's the thing. In this book, and I'm going to read out to you guys in a bit, I haven't set out my goal that high. I never set out my aim that high. And I guess that's the reason why I am having these 4 days on, 4 days off, because I never aimed high enough in the past. And even though I don't look at this plan every day, I believe I've read it enough in jail that it became secondhand nature to me. It has, wired in my brain already. So I kind of know how much I have to do to reach that goal. And the data shows that I am doing the bare minimum. I am being mediocre, and that results in mediocre results. And in this plan, that is exactly what I expected of myself in the first year. And perhaps that is the reason why I'm holding myself back. So let me show you guys what I wrote in here and tell you guys why I think this just makes sense and why setting this strategy plan is what's actually holding me back and not any other emotions, right? So when I get released in the first week or two, right? Although I wish to work right away, I expect to go on break with my family. I expect to see how the world is changing, to see what values I could provide to the marketplace. I expect to get my normal life and habits back on track. I expect to consolidate in my mindset. And that's true, right? So in the first 2 weeks, of course, you're gonna, hang out with the family. That's a must, right? That's like kind of compulsory, obligation you have to do. Consolidate my mindset. Well, here's the thing. In jail, I was consolidating my mindset since day one. I had a whole year to do that, and I did. So writing this out, and don't get me wrong, when I came out, I did try to consolidate my mindset, even though my mindset was already set in jail. I could only improve on, right? So perhaps instead of writing consolidate my mindset, I could write let's just start on the business. Let's just start cold calling. Let's just start, outreach. But I didn't, and I didn't do it. Makes sense, right? First 1 month or two, I expect to learn the fundamentals of my business if self-taught. I expect to introduce my business to the world market. I expect to fail multiple times and over. I expect to feel discouraged. I expect my YouTube videos to not gain a lot of traction. I expect the first months to be the hardest and the most difficult. I expect to quit, but I won't. I expect to find joy in what I do. It's been 1 month now. I do find joy in what I do. I am not getting too much contraction on my YouTube video, which is okay. However, that's the thing. I could have improved since day one. I could have said, okay, I want to get this much YouTube subscribers, whatever, right? And I could have worked to that. I could have been like, okay, so if I want to get 100 subscribers, this is what I'm going to do to get that much subscribers, right? This is the quality I have to set out to get that much subscribers. But I didn't. So this is why probably I'm not getting too much traction. And also, I expect to fail. This is kind of just basic common sense, right? Of course I'm going to fucking fail. Sorry for my language. I think you can swear, right? Anyways, here's the thing. Let's just skip forward to the first year. And this is why it kind of makes sense to me and why I'm slowing down. The first year, I expect to earn $5,000 a month for my money stream, which is, my business, SMMA. I expect to gain 100 followers on YouTube. I expect my physique is good enough now that I could turn into an asset. I expect my friends to earn more money than me. I expect my parents to doubt me, even give me an ultimatum, get a job or move out. I expect to be happy because I feel free. I expect to move out. I expect to lose my friends. I expect to have a suitcase full of books. I expect to grow a lot more since the first year. I expect to introduce myself to other social media platforms. Did you guys get the key point in that first year? It's not that my parents are gonna doubt me. They already do. It's not that I'm gonna lose my friends. I already have. It's not that I'm gonna fail, whatever. The main belief that's limiting my growth is first 100 subscribers on YouTube. Maybe that's the truth. Maybe that's how much I'm gonna get. And second, $5,000 a month for my business. To some degree, that might be true too. But here's the thing. If in life, what we ask for, whether less or more, we're going to get it anyways with the same amount of energy we put into it, then why would you ask for less, right? If you have the chance, right, to work more or to work the same exact amount and life will give you what you asked for, would you ask for less? Of course not, right? So when I ask for 5K a month, and based on what I'm doing now with my life, based on the data that's showing me the exact numbers, if I go down in this speed, 5K a month is all I deserve. 5K a month is all I freaking deserve, guys. And that is mediocre results. And to some people, they might think like 5K a month is a lot, for a self-grown business or for a startup. Yes, that's true, but that's also only if you believe that's a good enough amount. Right? That's if you believe mediocre results is good enough for you for the first year. All right. So having that set in my mind kind of programmed me to work this much and kind of slack off the rest of the 4 days because I know I am on track. I know I am making progress. All right, I could have done more, but I said to myself, look, what's the point, right? My goal is 5K a month, so why would I work for more? And here's the thing. In life, if you set realistic goals, even if they're too high, and even if they're somewhat not reachable, set them high enough but not too high, just so it gives you that ambitious drive to reach for that goal. Make it just touchable but not over the top where it discourages you. So this is why on my new plan I wrote 10K a month. It's double than what I did in my book for my journal in prison. All right, it's double. So it should make me perform twice as hard, right? And it should only make sense because from all the self-reflection, this is the only thing I can conclude as to why I am being complacent, as to why am I not putting in my 110%. Because right now, guys, I'm gonna be honest with you, I am working 50% in my potential, maybe less, because I asked for myself less. I didn't ask enough for myself. So I believe changing this belief alone will make me break this plateau, will make me break free from this limitation. And maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty damn certain this is the reason why I haven't been performing my best. Because currently at this speed, I can reach 5K a month in a year. That's not being, egotistic or whatever, but I just think it's reasonable. So I'm gonna set my aim higher, but not too high, which is ridiculous, right? Just high enough to really make myself push for my goals. And I'll see how this goes, but I guess I just solved another mystery in my life today. Hopefully you guys did. But this is my Saturday, and I'll see you guys Sunday, guys. Bye bye.